Hi guys, it's Jacob from Stringbuzz here, stringbuzzworld.org being the music journalism site, links in the description down below. And we have a brand new song review for you today, and it's the latest track by The Killers, and that's The Man. So I'm going to refer to the original article as I usually do for these videos, so I hope you enjoy. Well, this track had one hell of a hype train behind it, and let's face it, regardless of their output over the last 5 to 7 years or so, The Killers are still one of the biggest bands on earth. So when they release something, every reviewer, especially if they're my sort of variety, usually have to scramble to their keyboard to have their say. So shall we see what I thought of this brand new track? Well, I thought it was pretty good, and there certainly are some elements that I did enjoy. I thought the percussion sounded excellent, having enough impact to add this sort of rockier edge into the mix, whilst also having these cymbals that glisten a bit like some funk music, like you'd imagine from funk. I thought the bass was funky as well, and the production only really helped to elevate the bass into the foreground for me. It was one of my favourite sort of aspects when it comes to this track. The only real downside for me does come with the vocals, and particularly the vocal melodies. For me, I just found them way out of Brandon's range, and it felt like he was constantly struggling to hit these high notes, and the whole track is made up of high notes. It didn't need to be that way either. I think there could have been better melodies laid over this track, but overall I think fans will be happy with this song, and I think the casual listener might struggle to really get into this one, but obviously they have enough of a backlog now to really get into The Killers. Is there even a casual listener of The Killers left on earth at this point? When it comes to the production of this track, I actually think it's been mixed fairly well. Everything is well balanced, and amplitude wise the instrumentals all sound like they are on the same sort of wavelength. They're all equal. Nothing felt like it was swamping anything else. The guitar keeps its natural twang in the mix with a slight sort of chorus effect placed over the top just to make it even more prominent, make it a bit more individualized perhaps as well. The bass has this really sweet twang to it, whilst also being wholesome enough to really cover the stereo field and that low ground really well. When it comes to the electronic elements, they are actually more sort of minimal than I actually thought on my first listen. The pads do possess great timbres that flesh out the stereo field really well, and they do grab onto that foreground very quickly when it comes to this track, but they don't take too much emphasis away from the organic instrumentation. So like I said, it's well balanced. Vocally, the track is practically untampered with from a pitch manipulated sort of standpoint anyway, with the exception of the odd sort of watery EQ, which just added a bit of diversity every now and then. The track is actually pretty raw, so I really enjoyed this approach. Musicality wise, it's a bit of a weird one really, because the track did everything right for me to enjoy it, but for some reason it just wasn't clicking with me. I found the bass progressions funky. I thought there was plenty of variation and decoration here. I like the sort of INXS styled plucky guitar in the background, and I like the simplistic yet anthemic drum sequences here. I think it does lie upon the vocals though, since I just found them a little bit irritating in all honesty. They sounded a touch whiny to me, and maybe even a little bit screechy in parts, and that's not something I really want to say about the new Killers track. Usually Brandon puts in fantastic vocal performance after fantastic vocal performance, some of which have been iconic, but this track, yeah, I just wasn't feeling his vocals. I think because of it, I didn't find the chorus nor the hook in particular that catchy, and I think that's a real shame because I really feel I should have. Lyrically, the track is pretty average really, and there wasn't a single line that really caught my attention. Don't get me wrong, they aren't bad or anything like that, or even close to that, and there isn't really a single flaw here when it comes to the lyrics. It was that they just sort of fitted to this sound. They didn't have to be that awe-inspiring. So all in all, it's a decent track that is hampered by some very iffy vocals. As I've said, fans will probably enjoy this one more than casual listeners, but who's a casual listener of The Killers, as I've also said? So I gave it a G rating of 6.5 out of 10, which is still above average. So if you like this video, then please leave a like, comment what you think in the comment section down below, subscribe to see more, and I'll see you around next time. Bye bye.